You didn't fail at life. You disappeared from it, quietly, politely, without making a scene. You learned early how to stay out of the way, how to be agreeable, how to make yourself small enough that no one would push back. And over time, something dangerous happened. The world stopped noticing you, not because you lacked value, but because you trained everyone, including yourself, to believe your presence was optional. You walk into rooms already apologizing. You sense tension and immediately retreat. You wait for permission before you move, before you speak, before you choose. You call it being calm, being moral, being low drama, but deep down, you know the truth. You are not calm. You are restrained. You are not patient. You are paused. You are not peaceful. You are afraid. And fear has been making your decisions for a long time. Your life didn't collapse in one dramatic moment. It eroded, moment by moment, choice by choice, silence by silence. Every time you stayed quiet when you should have spoken. Every time you stayed when you should have walked away. Every time you lowered your standards just to avoid friction. Those moments didn't pass. They stacked. They built the version of you that exists today. A version that looks stable from the outside but feels hollow under pressure. You don't shape your life. You adapt to whatever's handed to you. You don't choose direction. You accept conditions. And slowly, without realizing it, you became replaceable. That's the most brutal truth of all. People don't disrespect you out of nowhere. They read the signals, your tone, your posture, your hesitation. Weakness is never invisible. It announces itself quietly, and the world responds accordingly, not with cruelty, but with indifference. You were never crushed by villains. You were sidelined by comfort. You fed the part of you that wanted safety. You protected it, defended it. You told yourself, this is just how I am. But that was a lie that felt convenient, because the strongest version of you, you've never met them. You've been guarding the weakest version instead, the one that avoids conflict, the one that trades truth for approval, the one that mistakes obedience for virtue. Every time you chose ease over discipline, that version grew. Every time you swallowed your words, it gained control. Every time you avoided risk, it tightened its grip. And now it lives in your head, disguised as caution, disguised as humility, disguised as being realistic. But its true purpose is simple: keep you small, keep you safe, keep you controllable. Because if you ever stepped into your power, that voice would die. And fear never dies without a fight. That tension you feel every day, that pressure in your chest, that's not confusion. That's not burnout. That's the life you were meant to live, pounding from the inside. You feel it when you watch someone else take space effortlessly, when you see someone speak with certainty, when you realize they're not more talented than you, just less afraid. Your frustration is not weakness, it's intelligence. It's the part of you that knows this life is too small. You were conditioned to behave, rewarded for obedience, praised for silence. You were taught how to fit into systems, not how to challenge them. So you learned to survive, but you never learned to command. And survival mode has an expiration date, because the world doesn't reward potential, it rewards presence. It doesn't respond to intentions, it responds to force, controlled, disciplined, grounded force. Right now, you are negotiating with fear, as if it deserves a vote. It doesn't. Fear is not your advisor, it is your jailer. And here's the turning point. You are not just a victim of this life. You are a participant. You reinforced it. You protected it. You stayed loyal to a version of yourself that kept you invisible. But that loyalty ends now, because change doesn't begin with motivation. It begins with destruction. The destruction of the identity built on avoidance. The destruction of the habits that kept you agreeable but irrelevant. The destruction of the voice that whispers, "Not yet." There is a cost to becoming powerful. You will lose approval. You will create tension. You will disappoint people who benefited from your silence. That's the price. But the cost of staying the same? That's worse. A life of almosts. A life of what-ifs. A life where your strongest self dies quietly without ever being used. You don't need permission. You don't need confidence first. You don't need to feel ready. You need to act before fear finishes the sentence. Take space. Set boundaries. Speak without apologizing. Not recklessly, deliberately. Because once you stop shrinking, the world adjusts. Not because you became loud, but because you became solid. And solid things are impossible to ignore. Machiavelli understood something most people spend their entire lives avoiding. There is nothing more tragic than wasted potential. Not failure, not loss. Wasted strength. That empty feeling that creeps in at night. The bitterness you feel when you see successful people. That isn't jealousy. That's grief. You are mourning the person you could have become. And the hardest question is this: who killed that version of you? Comfort did. Comfort is the most dangerous ruler you will ever serve, because it doesn't arrive with violence. It arrives smiling. It feels warm. It feels safe. It whispers, "Relax. You've got time." Comfort doesn't break you. It softens you until you rot. Look at your habits. How many dreams were sacrificed to a couch and a glowing screen? Comfort isn't the enemy of productivity. It's the enemy of evolution. Comfort erases your memory. It makes you forget how dangerous you were supposed to be. Machiavelli said those who face hardship early earn the right to rule. So ask yourself honestly, who have you ruled? No one. You've been serving comfort like a loyal servant, but comfort was never alone. Let me be brutally honest. Your weakness benefits other people. Every time you back down, someone else moves forward. Every time you stay silent, another voice takes control. Even people close to you, people who claim to care, may unconsciously fear your strength. Why? Because power changes the balance. If you become strong, they can't dump their problems on you anymore. They can't control you. They can't feel superior by standing next to you. Some people don't love you. They love the version of you that's harmless. Your growth threatens their comfort. And this is where it ends. There is no middle ground left. Inside you, a civil war has begun. Two identities are fighting. One wants things to stay easy, familiar, painless. The other wants to rise, dominate, transform. So far, the weaker one has been winning. Why? Because you fed it. You protected it. You made excuses for it. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. If the stronger version of you is going to live, the weaker one must die. Not improve. Not adapt. Die. You cannot negotiate with the part of you that was designed to limit you. You cannot train a cage into becoming freedom. This is an execution of identity. So where do you begin? You begin by doing exactly what the weak version fears. Wake up earlier, not for work, but to prove who's in control. Say no when every instinct wants to say yes just to keep the peace. Cut off disrespect immediately. End connections without explanations. Do the hardest thing first. Every disciplined action is a bullet to the brain of that weak identity. And when it finally dies, the world changes. People who once dismissed you start treating you carefully. Those who exploited you step back. Because when someone can't be controlled, the only option left is respect. This isn't motivation. This is a change of nature. Dig the grave of your weaker self, bury it, and stand on the soil. But don't expect applause. The first sound you'll hear after killing your old self is silence, deep, crushing loneliness. And this is where most people panic. This is where they crawl back into their coffin, because no one warned them that power has a tax, and that tax is isolation. Let me make something clear. The moment you start changing, a purge begins. Your phone rings less. Invitations disappear. People you thought were friends vanish or start mocking you. You've changed. You're too serious. You think you're better than us now. Let me translate that for you. You are no longer usable. Your control buttons don't work anymore. They didn't love you. They loved your availability. They fed on your weakness. Now they're starving. Does it hurt when people fall away? Yes, but this isn't tragedy. It's filtration. Machiavelli's lesson is ruthless but accurate. People stay loyal as long as it benefits them. Any relationship built on your weakness must die, so relationships built on your strength can exist. Sheep survive in herds because being alone means death. Lions walk their territory alone. Loneliness after transformation isn't misery, it's command solitude. This is where strategy is built, not where tears are shed. So when people start disappearing from your life, don't panic. Celebrate. You're not losing friends. You're removing chains. This is the price. If you want to fly like an eagle, you can't expect pigeons to follow you. They see your ascent as an insult. So here's the real question. Are you willing to pay this tax? Are you willing to sit alone in your room, building your future, while others burn their lives at parties? Are you willing to be called arrogant simply because you stop letting people waste your time? If the answer is no, go back to the coffin. Go back to the people who disrespect you as a joke while you laugh along. But if the answer is yes, welcome to reality. Now that your circle is smaller, let me destroy your final illusion. Deep down, you're still waiting for a sign, a miracle, a rescue, someone to knock on the door and say, "It's your turn." Let me free you from that fantasy. No one is coming, not your parents, not the government, not fate, not the universe. This world owes you nothing. It respects power, not potential. Every second you wait, you grow older. Everyone you envy today stood exactly where you are now. Alone, afraid, unsupported. The difference? They didn't wait for permission. They didn't look to the sky for a savior. They found one in the mirror. Go look. That person staring back at you is the only one who will build your empire. The only soldier who will fight for you. The only general who will command you. If you don't forge that person, no one else will. Tomorrow morning you have two choices. Put on the clothes of the victim again and go be ignored. Or put on your armor and take what's yours. Violently, deliberately, unapologetically. Choose carefully. History doesn't record victims. It records conquerors. The video ends here. Your war does not. Be the king of your own world, or a foot soldier in someone else's. If you stayed until this moment, you're not here for entertainment. You're here for a cure. Most people already clicked away. You didn't. If you're serious, let that action mean something, because the next lesson will be heavier than this one.